This is for Igor Bolek. He wants to kind of know what he could have done better. Um, I think you have a lot of good things on here, like your texture blends. You've got a decent light color ratio. I think the big thing is work on your composition, your perspective, and the kind of emotion of it. So what I mean by that is, first of all, let me just merge this layer. Okay, so first of all, um, going on here and looking at this, the problem is if this is your horizon line, so we're just going to say that's our horizon line. That means anything over here, I'm going to start seeing more curves. Actually, wrong way. Sorry. So I'm going to see, no, actually the right way. So I'm going to see a little bit more curves here. I'll probably see a little bit of the underside here. As you go down, I'm going to see the tops of this, and this is going to curve in this direction. And when you get down here, I'm going to see more of the, not that bad, but more of the arcs on your castles and stuff like that. Especially down here, I'll see like, much more like that. So that's the first and foremost thing. And then in 1 point, 2 point, you got to fix, those issues. So that's the first thing I would say right off the bat. Uh, the the second thing is you're trying to tell me a story. So what is the story you're trying to say? At this point, I don't know if this is like a guardian, or if this is going to attack them, or if this is, what's going on with the picture. And that's really where you're lacking in information. Um, so that being said, what I would say is, if this is kind of like a guardian feel, then what I would say is um, you almost want to, how do I want to put this? You want to change your layout. Right now, you've got foreground, middle ground, background, but none of it's really apparent um, because you you're not really showing me anything but the character. And the character is just taking the whole idea away. So what I would say right off the bat is get a little bit more of. I'm trying to just kind of picture in my head how to fix this. Um, so here, let's do it this way. All right, so the first thing is we're just going to really quickly grab this guy. Okay, so you've got this good river process going on in here. Let's redo this. So you've got this good river process going on, and the castle, needs fixing as mentioned. But let's take this and transform it something like this. And by moving this down a little bit and making it bigger, I'm also going to kind of desaturate it a little bit. Your main focus is, or I'm going to darken it a little bit, and your main focus is the figure. So I'm going to do that. All right. Then what I'm going to do is, let's clean up just some of these edges here. All right. So then what you want to do is you want to link the idea of this creature behind that. So if it's attacking, you want more of a visual stance. You want something saying that, hey, look at this creature here, interaction between the foreground and background. But if it's not attacking, if it's just a guardian, then you need to kind of put that guardian in there, and make it, like I would finish the arm, that type of thing. Um, and I would almost do this from a different perspective. I would do it from like a worm's eye view, whereas you're looking down and above the castle, and this is just towering over you. Whereas now it's kind of feeling like it's just in the background, it's just sitting there. So if it's just kind of this relic, what I would do is take and add in, I would almost take this here and I would move this up like it was, like so. Like it was in mid-walk and then it froze. And that's basically it's pushing this back a little bit more. Um, and it's giving you the aspect that you need, where this character was. See, I'm looking at this as a statue. It was like in a battle, and it pretty much it's out of power. It froze there. So that being the case, what I would also do is take and put this in the foreground. Like so, this rock here, I would almost, if you're going to put that, I would put it in the background. And I would bring this hand and bring it in the foreground a little bit more. And see, that's that overlapping of that character. Gives it this idea that now, it was actually in the stepping process, and that's what happened. So now you have a foreground, middle ground, and background. The other thing is use your histogram. Like right now, you've got a lot of highlight bright areas, and this is stone. So honestly, it would never be that bright. It would never get to the depth that you're really looking for as far as highlights, especially in stone characters. You're going to have a lot more muted colors. So, pay attention to that. Then the other thing is you've got the background, foreground information here. So what I would do is, the other thing is, while I'm thinking of it, don't go saturated or desaturated like this, go saturated. So if you're going to put color in there, you see just adding that bit of red is going to kind of give you a little bit more aspect of what your character is going to do. Also look at your shadows, because now if this arm is coming over, it would have, it's changing the color on that. It's giving that a little bit shadow. Make this an overlap. So what you're doing is you're basically pulling in, possibly even like this, and that looks a little bit more interesting. But as I was saying before, now you've got these clouds up here. What you want to do is, let's see here. What you want to do is just do like some type of a cloud brush. I don't know what this one is, but ooh, that is so not it. know I had some cloud brushes here. I'm not finding what I want, so let's go with the standard. Make sure it's what I need. Okay, so if you're going with the clouds, you want to put that foreground and then get the darker shadows and then possibly even something over here. So build in that foreground layer. Also watch, and let's just kind of also watch the areas. See, I mean, now just by putting that forward a little bit more, and then what you want to do is grab almost some greens and give it the reflection from the water. You know, the blues and stuff from the water, get that in there too. And the other aspect is, if don't equilateral these waterfalls. Get what I would almost do is I would say, and I'm just gonna really quickly just grab the part that I need here. Grab that. And make this stream a little bit smaller, and that is going to kind of play with it a little bit more too. So, you know, get a little bit more dynamic information in there. And then the other thing is, when you do rule of thirds, so just doing average rule of thirds, you have nothing really standing in the rule of thirds. It's not very interesting composition wise, but if you crop it out, go something like that, and we're going to move this over a little bit, maybe. We don't want to go that way. Maybe more interest. I mean, it's close, but I think this is a better composition. It's a little bit more dynamic. Things are a little bit more balanced. And, you know, I think that's a much more dynamic composition, is just by cropping it, moving those things forward, getting a little bit more scale in there. I would almost even go here, and let's grab this and hue and saturation a little bit more. So just up the saturation, darken it. Oops. So, and then let's just do the history brush too. Oops. There we go. Alright, so we can just kind of go in there, kind of clean that up real quick. But that, you know, starts popping the foreground out a little bit more and starts pushing him in the background. So those are things that I would just tell you to kind of pay attention to. So I hope this helps you out. All right.